What's going on, Ram family? It's your boy, Jamar Daniels, my 2012 graduate.
Hey, it's Janita Kearney, class of 2017.
Hey, I'm Erin Ford, class of 2021.
And this is Beyond the Degree, the recent Grad Council podcast. So, in today's episode, we titled this one The Power of the Pivot. And we're going to talk about transferable skills, unexpected paths, and redefining career success. Let's talk about when the pivot chooses us and we navigate that uncharted water, those unplanned career shifts. So maybe we can talk a little bit about that, maybe share some stories about some times when some things happened that were unforeseen conditions. And in that moment, how do we pivot?
I don't know if it's unfortunately or fortunately. I've definitely had to pivot before. So I am someone who had a plan, followed that plan, and I thought that plan would yield the results that I wanted. Yeah. And so I, did all the things, got the degree, and I landed in jobs that for me just weren't a good fit. Yeah. And I didn't realize that was also part of the things that I should have been planning for when I was in school. Not just doing all the things and getting all the grades, but actually trying to create a life I would enjoy. And so when I realized it was time for me to pivot, I was emotional about it and upset. So I did a lot of crying. I also did a lot of reflecting. I got advice from people that I trusted. I figured out what my next steps could potentially look like.
Yes.
And I took a lot of leaps. And on the other side of those leaps, sometimes it was the same thing, to be honest. Sometimes it still wasn't a fit. And I think repeatedly taking the time to figure out what a well-balanced life looks and feels like for me was key. And for me, I've realized that's something I have to keep doing. Like, I can't just do it once because what I need and what balance looks and feels like, that changes as my life changes. So sometimes you just gotta embrace the pivot. Ooh. It's not always fun, but sometimes you just gotta roll with it.
Yeah. Gigi. I can definitely relate. I will say that I'm currently pivoting right now, right in this season of my life. So education background, I taught, was an assistant principal, wrote curriculum for the state, and then I actually taught higher ed. And so with that, I had both of my children in COVID, went through the doctoral program. And so my vision was I was going to become a superintendent. I was going to, have my own school, that type of a thing. And in this season, going back into the workforce after having both of my babies, I am at the General Assembly. And I never imagined that.
Yes.
And so, my path of thinking just education. Well, here I am now stepping into the political field. And it's just something that I never imagined, something that I never really thought could even happen as someone with an educational background. And then also publishing my first book and becoming an author now. So something, again, that I never fathomed, but, here we are.
Yeah.
So
That's so amazing how you said, you never really imagined those things. You had that one vision of this one thing, but yet it was somewhat different. And I think that's the one thing that we have to learn how to, like you said, embrace. And you said something, it's embrace the pivot, and in sailors' term, they call it jibing, going with the current, right? And being able to just move with it. Yeah. But I think during that time when we're going with this pivot, there are skills that we are able to obtain. I remember working at this hardware store in Richmond, and they were closing down. And I was like, man, what am I going to do? But I realized, working in retail, I had a good amount of transferable skills, right? Able to communicate with people in all different forms and fashions and learning little tips and tricks. Well, I don't know what a lazy Susan is, but maybe you can draw it for me. Oh, that's just a turntable. It's a thing that turns. Just learning how to kind of simplify communication so that you're able to just meet that level with everyone. And I think that's a super valuable skill. And I think that's the thing that we have to look for during that pivot is, what are our strengths? what are we not so good at? What can we do better at? So
Yeah. And what experiences are we getting that we may not feel is like a valuable experience, but then how can we take that, like you said, a transferable skill? How can you take those experiences and now take it into the new area of where you're pivoting and use that as a strength?
yeah.
Absolutely.
I think within strength, it also it gives you an opportunity to build that confidence when you're in that unfamiliar territory. You know, like even in this situation, this is slightly new for me, but I know that I know y'all, and we talk, and I kind of see this as an opportunity for us to just kind of talk with the fancy bells and whistles. Thank you, VCU, and potential sponsors. No. But again, I mean, I think one of the key things, like you said again, was Aaron, is just learning how to embrace that pivot, embracing that change. Because, I mean, I don't know, we have a plan, but I also believe that there's also a plan that may be destined for us, and we got to learn how to just live in that, you know?
How'd you embrace?
I think I definitely thought about transferable skills, right? So what have I done? What do I currently do that I could do in another field, another position, and still be successful? Something I also think is really important is staying connected to your network.
Yes.
And communicating that you're like in the midst of a pivot with people you trust. Like you can't, you can't do that with everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe not immediately with your boss or something like that, but people that you trust, like use discernment. Use discernment, y'all.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time people will see or connect dots and skills for you that you're not even thinking about. So if you're sharing like, this isn't feeling exactly right. I feel like I could be doing something else and I would be happier. I would be more fulfilled. But I'm not sure exactly what that looks like. If you're talking to people that you trust, that know you well, it doesn't even have to be people that know you professionally. It can be your best friend, your partner, your book club, like whoever. Yeah. These people can pour into you and tell you, or connect you to other people. Like it's really important to stay connected because people can pour into you when you're least expecting it. My fave, Issa Rae, talked about the importance of connecting across. And I think sometimes when we're in the pivot, sometimes we think we need to connect to the person that's in charge or a CEO. And a lot of the time it's the people that we already know, that know us well and see things in us and can speak things into us or talk about us in rooms we're not in yet that can connect us to things that can make that pivot smoother too.
Man,
That's good.
that's beautiful.
That's really good.
And while you were talking, it made me think about pausing in the pivot, right? And learning the power of like reflection and looking around to be like, wait, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you go for that thing, and it sometimes it goes away from you, and maybe it's just not the right time or that's not your thing. But I think it's so important to pause in that pivot and ask like, okay, what is this situation telling me, right? What is the world telling me? What is God telling me? What is the universe telling me? And take that time to kind of listen and, like you said, realize like we're not as alone as we think we are. Like we have a community. We just have to take that courage to reach out. And I think in that time, reaching out to the right people, we're able to kind of highlight our strengths so that we can apply them out into this world.
Pivoting can be awkward. Doesn't always
Uncomfortable.
feel good. Yeah, frustrating. There's a lot of feelings that come with it.
Hey, but you know what though? When you say that, that awkwardness, I think also yields growth. It's kind of like puberty, like you're awkward during that pubescent time, but we all go through puberty and we've all, we've grown, and I think we can go through career puberty.
Yeah, I mean, that's real. It's a journey, right? It never ends. That's what we say
It never ends.
all the time. It's a journey that doesn't end because there's going to be multiple pivots too. So there's going to be multiple times that we feel awkward, that we feel like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I don't know how to communicate this to people. I don't know if I fit in here. It's going to feel awkward more than once.
But I think the awkwardness, the uncomfortability is what is stretching you. That's what expanding you for you to grow. Because if you're comfortable, I mean, there's really not much growth, but when you're uncomfortable, that's when you're being stretched to greater, to do more, to be more. So
I heard this great quote. It's you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think, again, you are leaning in on that pivot. Growth is going to come. So you kind of got to see it as an investment, because investing is sometimes uncomfortable. You may not, see that potential investment yield whatever you think, but I don't know. It's worth pouring in that time and that money to see what's going to happen.
Yeah. And I liked what you said about we have more community than we realize. Because I think sometimes when we're in the middle of a pivot, it feels like it's just us. Like everybody else has their lives figured out. We're the only people that are like, this isn't a fit. I don't know what's next. And so just like realizing that we can lean on people and be honest about our pivot, I think can help too.
Yeah, I think I agree. And that kind of reminds me of something recently where I shared some new aspirations. And I was at the General Assembly, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm surrounded by senators and delegates. And I just shared, just what I was feeling and experiencing. And they were like, why wouldn't you be here? Like, why would you feel like this is not the space for you? Like, you've spoken up and you've shared so much, and you have so much like input in your background in education and like understanding like educational policy. Like,
you belong here.
Yes. And here I am like, thinking I don't fit in, I'm not I don't have these titles, and I don't have like these years of experience. I didn't go to school like for politics or anything, and they're looking at me like, you're it.
We need you in this room.
But you know what? You were courageous enough to be vulnerable. Yeah. And then from there, I think that yielded a connection. And I think we kind of have to learn how to take our armor off in these situations. And I think the right people will be able to see us and pour into us, learning ways to drop that facade and to, what they say, William Shakespeare, to thine own self be true. Try that, and even though, what you were feeling may not have been necessarily true, but, it was true at that time and you were honest about it. And I don't know, I think that could have been a confidence booster for you. And now you're like starting to like lean into this.
Yeah, the risk of definitely being vulnerable, like of just being honest and transparent, and that opened up doors. So I think vulnerability is.
How did you overcome that? Because a lot of times we're like, I don't want to look stupid, I don't want to come in here and look stupid. Some people just don't even show up. I don't belong here. But like, how did you muster up that courage to just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think for me, like my faith plays a huge, huge part. And if I'm brought to it, then I will be seen through it. So I'm.
What she said?
Let me repeat. If I am brought to it, I will be seen through it.
Okay,
and
come on.
So I mean, everything happens for a reason. We don't understand it. Nothing that you go through in life is of a waste. And so therefore, when something comes up, when something happens, there's a reason for it. And, you just have to trust. Like, that's just kind of where I am.
I'm letting it ruminate right now, because people are going to be experiencing a lot of unforeseen things. And I want this to kind of serve as a resource to y'all to remember. When you're in that pivot, pause, lean into it, reflect, and look around and see, where this direction is taking you, and learn how to jive. And so with that being said, I would like to land the plane. Do we have any plugs or anything that we need to do before we head out? Recent grad council, I believe they are looking for new applicants. So be on the lookout for that. I think that's going to be upcoming in March. So, okay. Well, stay tuned for the next episode. Thank y'all for hanging with us. And this is Beyond the Degree.